Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. It's me, Eric, one of the education specialists for Easton Bank's Learning and Life Center. Thank you guys so much for coming back for another video. Before we move on, I wanted to thank our latest subscriber for joining our channel and being a supporter. Make sure before you move on further into this video to subscribe, like, and comment, share this video, and don't forget to click the notification bell to be notified of when we drop new videos, which is every single week. Potatoes are staple crops in many households and cultures. Potatoes are one of the most versatile crops that you can grow in your garden, resulting in them being used in various dishes. From being fried and stuffed to being used in stews and boils, you should definitely be growing potatoes in your garden. In today's video, we'll be discussing the family that potatoes come from, the different varieties that these tuber-like vegetables have, the growth cycle of a potato, and the different methods of growing potatoes in your garden. Potatoes come from a family called nightshades. This is the same family that includes tomatoes, eggplants, and peppers. The nightshade group comes from the Solanaceae or Solanum family, which is actually a genus of over 2,700 species of plants. Did you know, fun fact, that according to archaeological evidence, along the Peruvian coast, potatoes date back approximately 9,000 years ago. In our garden, I believe this was 2022, we grew red potatoes. They were the red Carolina potatoes, and they grew very well. We wanted to choose a potato that that could grow in our climate, in a climate that was relative to their indigenous climate. And so they grew very well. We didn't really need to tend to them at all. We just needed to heal them. And later on in this video, we'll discuss what healing is. Let's fertilize them, heal them, and watch them grow. They were divided up between 3 different families when we delivered all of the produce to the families in our community that are experiencing hunger and or food insecurity. When growing your potatoes, don't forget about the other tuber-like crops that you can grow, like jicama or cassava. You only have a few months throughout every year to experiment and try new crops that you can introduce into your garden. Even if you fail, at least you tried. For example, in our garden here, right there, we have a raised bed. You can watch the video right here where we discuss the hugelkultur method. The students created that all on their own as we discuss what that method is, and we planted sweet potatoes in there. The sweet potatoes were growing. We did have evidence of, small tuber-like growths occurring in the soil, but we planted them a little too late. We planted them towards the end, I think the mid section of September, which was a little too late to grow potatoes. But we tried, and we did have foliage growing. So they are still in the ground. Hopefully they come back, but we are growing our own sweet potato slips in the greenhouse. So again, trying new crops in your garden is always fun. It always allows you the opportunity to learn new gardening methods and tips and tricks. In Georgia, where we are located right now, you can start growing your own potatoes in March, and then you'll start harvesting roughly around May, June-ish, even into July. Potatoes really don't like super hot weather. They do like it warm, but not extremely warm like you can get into July and August. We are growing potatoes in different ways. One way is growing them actually from seeds. This is the Clancy potato. This is our very first time trying this hybrid potato. We've never tried to grow potatoes from seed ever, so this is a first time. And again, like I mentioned earlier, when experimenting, if and when those seeds do germinate, it'll be another way for us to practice our gardening skills, keeping those plants alive all the way until they reach maturity in order to transplant them into the garden. We are also growing our own potato slips, like I said. You can't see it, but I've already looked at this sweet potato, and it does have the beginning parts of a root growing. So we should have little slips growing out of the top of this potato very, very soon. If you haven't watched our video on indeterminate tomatoes, make sure to watch that video. I know that tomatoes and potatoes are different, but again, remember that they are in the same family. and their growing habits when discussing indeterminate versus determinate, they kind of go hand in hand. So as a quick little lesson, indeterminate plants mean that they grow on and on and on until the end of their lifetime. Determinate plants mean that they have a set time in their genetic coding when they are done growing for a particular season. So with potatoes, you have determinate and indeterminate. I think roughly all the potato plants that we've grown are indeterminate, and you can grow both determinate and indeterminate potatoes in very different ways. Those little fabric bags that some gardeners use, you can grow them in pots, in buckets like we have here. You can grow them even in whiskey barrels, and raised beds, and in ground. The times that we've grown potatoes, we have them in raised beds and in ground. We may try the bucket method to see how quickly and easily they grow in the bucket, but only time will tell. Growing potatoes in ground, a great way to utilize your space can be made by making sure your soil is fluffy and not compact. You'll need to place your seed potatoes on top of the soil and cover them with mulch. Any type of mulch. It could be leaves or straw, and this will actually allow your potatoes the opportunity to root themselves through the soil and provide an easier way for them to grow. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. We hope you learned something really valuable for the upcoming season of growing potatoes. Let us know in the comments what varieties of potatoes you are growing, any other tuber-like crops that you are growing right now in your garden or plan to grow this upcoming spring and summer. We have a lot more content coming to you guys in the next few days and weeks as we are getting closer and closer to the spring and summer months, in order to prepare you for all of the different plants that you're going to grow, from tomatoes to eggplants, to squash, to greens, and even to our pollinator-friendly flowers. For more information on how you can support our Project Great program and all of our other youth programming efforts, please click the link down below. You can follow our social channels. We can be found on Facebook and Instagram at EBLLCINC, and on TikTok at Project Great. And you can also join our newsletter by going to our website, www.eblllcinc.com. Until the next video, we'll see you all later in the garden. Bye.